Welcome everyone. I was doing a little research and I ran across this image, and this is Denver, Colorado, and they are building viaducts in downtown Denver, and it caught my attention because I am interested in viaducts, and you may know my video Viaducts of Atlanta. And so I looked into these viaducts, and come to find out they actually tore them down. I think maybe in the 90s for the most part. I think they might have been taking them down all along, but they're very similar to the ones in Atlanta. Um, but these viaducts led me to a map. Okay, this is a bird's eye view of Denver, Colorado that was drawn in 1889. And what I was looking into the viaducts, and when I started looking around at this map, which is actually very high resolution, one thing struck me that was interesting was that the city in 1889 was extremely built out. And so I did a little bit more digging into the city of Denver, and I just wanted to read you a little bit of history on the city and take a little bit of a look at this map. And I've got a few other maps we'll look at, and then we'll round it out with a bit of a slideshow of Old World Denver. Okay, reading from the Wikipedia mainstream indoctrination page, the greater Denver area was inhabited by several indigenous peoples such as the Apaches, the Utes, the Cheyennes, the Comanches, and the Arapahoes. By the terms of 1851 Treaty Fort Laramie between the United States and various tribes, including the Cheyenne and the Arapaho, the United States unilaterally defined recognized Cheyenne and Arapaho territory as ranging from the North Platte River to present-day Wyoming and Nebraska southward to the Arkansas River in present-day Colorado and Kansas. This definition specifically encompasses the land of modern metropolitan Denver. But the discovery in November of 1858 of gold in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, then part of the Western Kansas Territory, brought on a gold rush and a consequent flood of white immigration across Cheyenne and Arapaho lands. Colorado Territory officials pressured federal authorities to redefine and reduce the extent of Indian treaty lands. In the summer of 1858, during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush, a group of gold prospectors from Lawrence, Kansas established Montana City as a mining town on the banks of the South Platte River in what was then Western Kansas Territory, on traditional lands of Cheyenne and Arapaho. This was the first historical settlement in what later became the city of Denver. So Denver was started in 1858. I want you to keep that in your mind's eye. But the site faded quickly, and by the summer of 1859 it was abandoned in favor of Aurora, named after the gold mining town of Aurora, Georgia, and St. Charles City. Okay, so scratch 1858. Now we got 1859. So we're going to start in 1859 as our start date. On November 22nd, 1858, General William Lemire and Captain Jonathan Cox, both land speculators from eastern Kansas Territory, placed cottonwood logs to stake a claim on the bluff overlooking the confluence of the South Platte River and Cherry Creek, across the creek from the existing mining settlement of Aurora, and on the site of the existing town site of St. Charles. Lemire then named the town site Denver City to curry favor with Kansas Territorial Governor James W. Denver. Lemire hoped the town's name would help it be selected as the county seat of Arapahoe County, but unbeknownst to him, Governor Denver had already resigned from office. You see the narrative here. The location was accessible to existing trails and was across the South Platte River from the site seasonal encampments of the Cheyenne and Arapaho. The site of these first towns is now occupied by the Confluence Park near downtown Denver. Edward W. Wynkoop came to Colorado in 1859 and became one of the city's founders. Wynkoop Street in Denver is named after him. Lemire, along with associates in the St. Charles City Land Company, sold parcels in the town to merchants and miners with the intention of creating a major city that would cater to new immigrants. Denver City was a frontier town with an economy based on serving local miners with gambling saloons, livestock, and goods trading. In the early years, now this is interesting, it's based on servicing local miners. So this is important because that means that a majority of people that came to this town were miners for the gold rush. I think that's an important note to make. In the early years, land parcels were often traded for grubstakes or gambled away by miners in Aura. In May 1859, Denver City residents donated 53 lots to the Leavenworth and Pikes Peak Express in order to secure the region's first overland wagon route. So in 1859, we'll get our first wagon route. Woohoo! Offering daily service for passengers, mail freight, and gold. The express reached Denver on a trail that trimmed westward travel time from 12 days to 6. In 1863, Western Union further Denver's dominance of the region by choosing the city for its regional terminus. On February 18, 1861, 6 chiefs of the Southern Cheyenne and 4 of the Arapaho signed a Treaty of Fort Wise with the United States at Bent's new fort at Big Timbers near what is now Lemire, Colorado. They ceded more than 90% of the lands designated for them by the Fort Lemire Treaty, including the area of modern Denver. Some Cheyennes opposed the treaty, saying it had been signed by a small minority of chiefs without the consent or approval of the rest of the tribe, that the signatories had not understood what they signed, and that they had been bribed to sign by a large distribution of gifts. The territorial government of Colorado, however, claimed the treaty was a solemn obligation and considered that those Indians who refused to abide by it were hostile and planning a war. 10 days later, on February 28, 1861, the Colorado Treaty was created. Arapahoe County was formed on November 1, 1861, and Denver City was incorporated on November 7, 1861. Denver City served as the Arapahoe County seat from 1861 until the consolidation in 1902. In 1867, Denver City became the acting territorial capital, and in 1881 was chosen as the permanent state capital in a statewide ballot. With its newfound importance, Denver City shortened its name to Denver. In August 1, 1876, Colorado was admitted to the Union. This disagreement on the validity of the Treaty of Fort Wise escalated to bring about the Colorado War of 1864 and 1865, during which the brutal Sand Creek Massacre against Cheyenne and Arapaho peoples occurred. The aftermath of the war was the dissolution of the reservation of East Colorado, the signing of the Medicine Lodge Treaty, which stipulated that the Cheyenne and Arapaho peoples would be relocated outside their traditional territory. This treaty term was achieved even though the treaty was not legally ratified by the tribal members, as per the treaty's own terms. Thus, by the end of the 1860s, this effectively completely cleared the Denver area of its indigenous inhabitants. So in 1860, we can actually start to have, area for Denver to be, built out. So what I'm saying is the timeline is being pushed further and further back. So we really can't, begin to really do what we're going to do here, infrastructure-wise, until 1860s. Okay, although the close of 1860s, Denver residents could look with pride at their success establishing a vibrant supply of service center, the decision to route the nation's first transcontinental railroad through Cheyenne City rather than Denver threatened the prosperity of the young town. The Transcontinental Railroad passed a daunting 100 miles away, but its citizens mobilized to build a railroad to connect Denver to it. So basically, they uncovered the railroad that was already there. They dug it out. My firm belief is that the railroads all across the world were already here, and they were just dug out. They weren't actually built. That's that they didn't. I imagine that they all didn't have to be dug out, but I think that definitely in areas where there were cities and towns, that they would definitely be covered by what we call the mud flood. That's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes, and well, that's mine. Spearheaded by visionary leaders including Territorial Governor John Evans, David Moaf, and Walter Chessman, um, fundraising began. Within 3 days, $300,000 had been raised, and citizens were optimistic. Fundraising stalled before enough was raised, forcing these visionary leaders to take control of the debt-ridden railroad. Despite challenges, on June 24, 1870, citizens cheered as the Denver Pacific completed the link to the Transcontinental Railroad, ushering in a new age of prosperity for Denver. So we didn't get the connection of Transcontinental Railroad until 1870. I think that's important. Finally linked to the rest of the nation by rail, Denver prospered as a service and support center. The young city grew during these years, attracting millionaires with their mansions, as well as a mixture of crime and poverty of a rapidly growing city. Denver citizens were proud when the rich chose Denver and were thrilled when Horace Tabor, the Leadville mining millionaire, built a business block at 16th and Lemire, as well as the elegant Tabor Grand Opera House. Luxurious hotels, including the much beloved Brown Palace Hotel, soon followed, as well as the splendid homes for millionaires, such as the Croke Patterson Campbell Mansion at 11th and Pennsylvania, and the now demolished Moaf Mansion at 8th and Grant. Intent on transforming Denver into one of the world's greatest cities, leaders wooed industry and attracted laborers to work in these factories. Soon, in addition to the elite and the large middle classes, Denver had a growing population of immigrant German, Italian, and Chinese laborers, soon followed by African Americans from deep South and Hispanic workers. The influx of new residents strained available housing. In addition, silver crash of 1893 unsettled political and social and economic balances. Between 1880 and 1885, the city underwent huge rise in corruption as crime bosses such as Soapy Smith wow, worked side by side with elected officials and the police to control elections, gambling, and bunco gangs. The city also suffered a depression in 1893 after the crash of silver prices. In 1887, the persecutor of the international charity United Way was formed. In Denver by local religious leaders who raised funds and coordinated various charities to help Denver's poor. By 1890, Denver had grown to be the second largest city west of Omaha, Nebraska. And another important note is that in my research, I also found that there was guess what? Dun dun dun, Great Fire. So here's a little information on that from the Colorado Encyclopedia. In the early morning hours of April 19, 1863, a fire raged through Denver, reducing much of the town's business district to ash. As in most frontier towns of the American West, fire had been a concern for Denver citizens since the town's founding in 1858, because flammable structures and non-existent building codes put the whole town at risk burning. So-called Great Fire of 1863 prompted citywide ordinances for building construction that would prevent fires in the future, and it helped to formalize volunteer companies into the Denver Fire Department. A tinderbox. Denver faced the threat of fire from the beginning. Nearly all of its buildings were constructed of logs and highly flammable native pine, crammed together with only a few feet between them. Unsafe building construction combined with the arid, windy climate of the plains ensured that any fire that started in the town was likely to spread. In the 1860s, William B. Byers and the Rocky Mountain News were among the first to advocate for greater efforts to fireproof the city's to fireproof the city and increase the amount of firefighting equipment available. After such conflagrations as the River House Fire in November 1862 and the Elephant Coral Fire of February 1863, the Rocky Mountain News warned readers of the dangers that fires pose to the city, especially since Denver had only a small volunteer hook and ladder companies and very little equipment for fighting fires. In 1862, the city council made efforts to heed such warnings by banning the construction of wooden buildings and requiring inspections of stoves and fireplaces. On July 15, 1862, the city council first attempted to establish city-wide firefighting facilities when it approved the purchase of a hook and ladder and created 2 volunteer bucket brigades. In November 1862, however, the ordinance banning construction of flammable wood buildings was repealed, largely in response to complaints from businessmen. More wood frame buildings went up, providing more fuel for when the disastrous fire eventually broke out. Fire spreads. That disastrous fire occurred around 2 or 3 a.m. Sunday, April 19, 1863. Flames were first seen coming from or near the back of the Cherokee House, a saloon and hostelry on the southwest corner of 15th and Blake Streets. Cherokee House was the epicenter of the town's business district near Market and Lemire Streets. The exact origin of the fire was not known, though newspapers later suggested an arsonist was to blame. Another possible cause could have been sparks from a stovepipe which ignited refuse or hay in the area behind the Cherokee House. This is reminiscent of the Chicago fire. We don't know where the fire started. The fire made slow progress at first. It probably would have come under control had adequate hook and ladder company been called to the scene in a timely manner. However, a delay in raising an alarm, which is odd, combined with warm winds blowing from the south, resulted in the fire's rapid spread. In April 23, 1863, the article in the Weekly Commonwealth described how the flames leaped across the street either way, and Brindlinger's and Ullman's Chessman's Corners were soon enveloped. Rocky Mountain News then described how the fire was temporarily checked at Inslee's on the south side of Blake, but soon leaped over that enveloped frame buildings beyond it. Firefighters and citizen volunteers struggled to stop the blaze. Given the threat that fires posed to emerging towns, it was accepted custom in the American West that any citizens present when a fire broke out should do what they could to combat the flames. Moreover, a Denver City ordinance dictated that any citizens present at a fire were subject to the orders of the fire wardens and police officers, with failure to comply resulting in a $5 fine. But because the Great Fire of Denver broke out in the early morning, many citizens remained asleep in their homes. Given the fire's intensity and the lack of resources to combat it, firefighting efforts shifted from saving money in the buildings to salvaging the goods and supplies stored within them. The fire was eventually stopped around 4 or 5 a.m. at Tillman Store on Blake Street, about 4 blocks from the fire's origin. Roughly 70 buildings were burned by flames, including the large stores of food and supplies in storage facilities such as Cook's and Kiskadden's buildings. The city lost 115 businesses, or about 40% of the businesses in the district, and suffered $200,000 in damage, around $4.1 million today. Had there been a larger fire department and more equipment available, the volunteer companies that did arrive to fight the great fire damage to the city could have been minimized. The aftermath. While only 1 death was reported as a result of the Great Fire, the economic consequences proved disastrous for several Denver citizens, leaving them homeless and impoverished. The effects on the fire of the city as a whole, however, proved less dire. Indeed, despite the significant losses, some residents thought the fire was beneficial to Denver's long-term development because it led to new fire regulations and better construction practices, helping transform a frontier shantytown into a city that with the appearance of stability. The day after the fire, the city council passed an ordinance reinstating its 1862 prohibition on anything but brick buildings in an area designated as the fire limits. The new ordinance required that the buildings outside the walls walls and walls between adjoining buildings be no less than 8 inches thick. The fire also uh, instigated a stronger push for a fire department, though an official fire department would not emerge until 4 years later. With the city council's new fire prevention regulations in place, reconstruction of the burned district began with a fury in the weeks following the blaze. New brick buildings replaced old wooden shanties, bringing a higher class appearance to the city. As the new structures went up, several intact buildings were moved from the other side of Cherry Creek to the burned district so that the business could continue. Meanwhile, reconstruction of the city resulted in the rise of brick manufacturing as a new thriving business in town, providing jobs for those who had lost income resource to the fire. By Christmas of 1863, the burnt district had been almost completely rebuilt. The reconstruction of Denver after the Great Fire created a more substantial and commercial successful city, much of which is still standing today. So in April of 1863, this whole business district of 115 businesses burned to the ground, and by 7 months later, 1863, 7.5 months later, something like that, it was completely rebuilt out of brick. That's the narrative we're given. So what I wanted to do here next is I wanted to look a little bit more in detail of some of these buildings that are on this map to give you an idea of scale. And start off here. This is the Colorado State Capitol building. Massive structure. And this is a picture of this building in 1905. But very close to the time frame that we're talking about. It's like a little arc light there. But this is just a massive structure, absolutely amazing. But you know what? We see this same style structure in every city, major city, around the world. Every seems like every country, every state has a building like this. Um, the next one we'll look at, let's see, is this is the old Arapahoe State Courthouse. And uh, this one is, let's see, this right here, not the Arapahoe State, the Arapahoe Courthouse in Denver, Colorado. You can see the Mudflood windows down there. Just another absolutely massive structure. This is in 1887, so this is 2 years prior to the map being drawn. So this is absolutely in the time frame. That's the reason I want to show you is to show you the scale of what you're looking at. You're looking at this map. It doesn't look like much, but then you get down to it, and it really is something. I think the next one we're going to look at is the City Hall, which will be right here. And I've got a photograph of it here. Of course, Mudflood windows down there. Just another absolutely massive City Hall. Got your etheric finials here and fencing, and all this is for etheric energy. Got you a clock. Clocks are expensive. Looks like Fred's the horse that built America. Now, some folks say donkeys might have built America, but we all know it was Fred. Fred's the, original. He's the OG builder of America. I don't think donkey's going to be exactly how you're going to do it, but, um, uh, imitation is the best form of flattery, as they say. Let's see, the Tabor Grand Opry House. This is in 1905. And you can see the etheric equipment up here on the top here. These are not flagpoles. Anybody that's ever had a flag knows that they just tear right the hell up. So a lot of times, if you look at these old pictures, you'll have these flags, and if you look closer at the actual glass plate negatives, the flags will actually have been painted in. They're not even real flags on there. But when you look at the photograph back like this, it does look like a real flag. It's not. You got your trolleys here. But just an absolutely amazing building. Now that building, let's see if I can remember where that was. It was, okay, it's not that one. That is another one. I'm pretty sure it's this one right here, if I'm not mistaken. It's on 16th Avenue, yeah, or the 18th. Or maybe that is it. Anyways, it's either this one or that one. I've got a picture of both of these buildings. We'll have to see. I can't remember exactly. This is the Union Station in Denver, and this is in 1889, the year that the map was drawn. And just absolutely gorgeous. You got your etheric energy equipment up on top here. Portholes for the wind catcher system. Wind catcher system is an ancient form of air conditioning system. Not like, like heating and cooling, but it was a way of getting the air circulation and through the buildings. Their climate was milder, so but they needed fresh air just like we do. So they had to have forms of air circulation. But this is just a beautiful building in 1889. Of course, Freds are on the job here. No donkeys in sight, just to note. But that building in this wonderful map is, let's see, right here somewhere. It is so hard to find these things. It is right here. Just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. Now let's see. This is the Jesuit College, and it's a pretty cool picture here. This dude right here. But this is an amazing structure. Now this is way on out here. This little guy right here, that's the Jesuit College, way out, but it's on the map, so that's cool. This is the Windsor Hotel at 18th Lemire. Okay, so that helps me. Of course, Fred's booty's over here on the left-hand side. There's more Fred right there. No donkeys. Just saying. I'm just saying. Fred's the horse that built America. It's not the donkey that built America. It's the horse that built America. I mean, we should just, call it what it is. But anyways, got the etheric energy doodads up there. These are always pretty interesting. These electric poles here. How they have all the glass insulators on them. But just a massive building. Now okay, we're talking about 18th Street. Now you follow 18th, you see the little thing right there. It says 18th, and you follow that up here. That's the Windsor Hotel. Now that means that the Opera was right here. So that's the Opera. I was just a little bit confused. And that's okay. I'm allowed. Old East High School, and this is in the 1920s. And Old East Denver High School, as it is without a pier in Renaissance architecture and without a settlement or crack in its walls. Wow. Look at those Mudflood windows. I mean, those are some pretty Mudflood windows. It just don't even make sense why you would build your windows all in the ground. Look at that architecture, that detail. High school. Yeah, okay. Now, what was added later? Just take a guess. What'd they add later? And if you don't think they can add things to these buildings, got your ether finials up there, arched windows. See those ether finials? That's what would bring in the free energy. And if you don't believe in free energy, well, I don't know what to tell you, but let's see. Now that building is right here, I believe, by what I've found. Now, it's kind of weird. I think the best I can tell you is that the way they drew this is odd. But when you look up the addresses and everything, this seems to be the building, from what I can tell. Even though it does look different, but that does seem to be the building. This is the Trinity Methodist Church, and this is in 1897, so a little bit after the map would have been made. Oh, let's keep looking. But this is a beautiful stone church, and the stone goes all the way up the spire there. You got your cymatic window and your ether finials up top. And of course, Fred's on the job over here. That might, I don't know. Could that be a donkey booty? I don't know. Looks more like Fred booty. Anyways, the church that we're looking at is right here. So give you an idea of scale of what we're looking at. And this is just a little something I ran across, and I thought I'd share this structure with you. This is the National Mining and Industrial Exhibition Building. The National Mining and Exhibition opened on August 1st, 1882 at the corner of South Broadway and Exhibition Avenue in Denver, Colorado, exhibiting mining and industrial equipment and resources. The buildings were removed after the third annual exhibition on October 1884. Long white tents and covered wagons stand in front of the complex near the railroad track. 1882 ? And then I also have another picture here from Harper's Weekly of the structure. But this was a massive structure, and now this is not on the map. It was south on the map, and it did not get on the map. But this was just another massive structure that was there. Incredible. We got here the John A. McCurdy home, and this was at 1007 Pennsylvania Street in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Denver. And it features a rusticated stone turrets, arches, and a covered porch and ornate chimneys. It was constructed in 1890 and demolished in the 1960s. And I just wanted to share this mansion with you because I just thought it was so beautiful. It's got your Mudflood windows and arches, and you got your ether finials. And there's these lamps fixtures that were on there. I believe they had glass in them originally, and they were on the front stoop. And these are some images that I found of them. And they were removed. They're not. This is a picture of them installed. And look at the damaging on the building. But an interesting example of the homes built in Denver in early 1890s is the residence of John A. McCurdy at 1007 Pennsylvania Street, designed by Mr. I. Hodgson. It utilized the Colorado sandstone, so popular at the time. Mr. McCurdy reached Denver in 1870 and was a survivor was a surveyor for the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad at the time. It was located in the line through the Royal Gorge. After his death in 1899, his home was sold to Dr. Graham, who later sold the house to Mr. John Good. At the time the Goods lived there, a pair of ornamental white stone lions stood guard over the entrance. But they, for some reason, those lamps were removed off the house. Anyways, I just want to share that mansion as a very beautiful example of beautiful, amazing Denver architecture. What we have here is a picture taken in 1898 of Denver, Colorado, and it was painted. But I just thought it was just an amazing, you know, image of just the structures and the amount of buildings and homes and just incredible architecture that was in this area so early. But I wanted to share this with you and give you an idea. What they would do is they would take a picture and then they would paint the picture. I wanted to share some other maps with you. This is Denver, and this map was in 1881, and another bird's eye view, 1881, and it's already built out. I mean, look how much structure there is in 1881. I mean, this is already there. So we're talking from 1863 to 1881. They're already this advanced. So that's just incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. Just something is not adding up here. I mean, these are all brick buildings. Now this, you'll notice that this is the Union Station. So this map would actually be drawn backwards from the map of 1889. But that is just incredible. 1881. This is 1887. Another bird's eye map. There's your state capital. I believe that's the city, not the city hall, the other one, courthouse. City hall would be maybe that might be city hall. 19, yes, city hall. But this is 1887. This one almost doesn't do it justice, but you can still see how much infrastructure is there. They actually, I don't think they did as good a job on this map in putting in the amount of structures that were there. But let's see if the Jesuit College is in the background. I don't see it. Look at that massive thing back there. But this is just incredible. What all they had here. I mean, we're talking, Capitol, courthouse, hotel, Unity Church, cathedral, high school, Wolf Hall 9. I don't know where. It's hard to see these numbers. I was actually looking for Wolf Hall. Almost looks like a roundhouse, but I don't think it is. They did have roundhouses. Let's see what else we got. This is the one we've been looking at. This is in 1908. Now this is obviously considerably further down the road, but we already know that this stuff was here. Look at that massive thing. I mean, come on. Just absolutely gorgeous maps. Look at that. Oh man. Exchange building. Unbelievable. Look how they've painted that right there. International Trust Company. Wow. Tramway Central Power Station. Wow. Very cool. That's the Brown Palace Hotel we were hearing about earlier. Of course, they've got a arch. Just look at the infrastructure in this thing in 1908. Now, see, in in 1908, we're kind of thinking, oh, we should have all this by 1908. Now, oh, we got another map here. Let's see what else we got. This is, not sure about the year of this one. Let's see. It doesn't say. Huh. Unless I'm missing. Oh, 1889 maybe? No, that's not right. I don't know what year this is. But this is another massive map. Unbelievable. Look how it's grid systemed out. Look at that massive thing. There's the exhibition I was showing you earlier. Now, let me share something else with you. So that last map was from 1882. Absolutely amazing. Now, here's where it gets, I think, interesting. This is where we get to the meat and potatoes of kind of my point here. In 1860, they had a population of 4,749. In 1870, they registered a population of 4,759. Yes, you read that correctly. They gained 10 people in 10 years. So, that's a little bit confusing. Now, I did see some evidence that points to that they had a flood maybe that might have destroyed records in the city hall, I believe. Okay, we'll buy that. But here's the thing. From 1863, because we know that they say that basically they had the Great Fire and it burned the whole city down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, burned down the business district, which they would consider the massive portion of the city. Okay, so let's take from 1863 to excuse me, 18. I'm getting a calculator out here so we get our math right. Let's see. Our map is in 1889, and then you subtract 1863. We're getting 26 years. So in 26 years, they built out the city of Denver in brick. Now, if you look at this population chart, in 1890, Beagle's going crazy. In 1890, they register 106,000 people. Okay? 106,000. Now, we're looking at a map from 1890. So if you average this out from 1858 to 1890, it's about 3,200 people per year. And that are coming in, which that more or less came in each year. So, but let's just kind of average it out. Doesn't matter. 1889. Let's say there's probably roughly around 100,000 people in the city of Denver. Okay, this city is built on a gold rush, so a lot of these people are digging for gold. Okay, they're not building brick buildings. Okay. I don't know how many of the people are digging for gold, but it's probably a good amount. Number one. Number two, there's probably a fair percentage of the population of Denver that is female. Okay, so women. And, in that day and time, I would find it highly unlikely that the women were building brick buildings. So I think we can take off a pretty good percentage there. And then let's imagine that some of that population is children. So let's just, kind of estimate that there's between 50 and 75,000 people that are building this city in... What is your problem, Beagle? Sorry, folks. There's 50 to 75,000 people building this city, in 26 years. And that to me is just not working. That math ain't mathing. So I just don't think that we can continue to believe this narrative. I just don't believe that you can fire that many bricks in ovens and build that many brick structures to cover an entire city in 26 years and build the massive structures that they did. I just don't think we can believe that anymore. And I hope this gives you a different perspective of what transpired in Denver, Colorado. And I really appreciate your time. And I'd like to end with a little slideshow of some of the photographs that I found during my research. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the show.
I Made a Pygmy by Charles Hartree and the Deaf AIDS Phase 1, in which Doris gets her oats. Two of us riding nowhere, spending someone's hard-earned pay. You and me, Sunday driving, not arriving on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. Two of us sending postcards, writing letters on my wall. You and me burning matches, lifting latches on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. You and I have memories longer than the road that stretches our ahead. Two of us wearing raincoats, standing solo in the sun. You and me chasing paper, getting nowhere on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I pick a pony. Well, you can celebrate anything you want. Yes, you can celebrate anything you want. Oh, I do a road hog. Well, you can penetrate any place you go. Yes, you can penetrate any place you go. I told you so. All I want is you. Everything has got to be just like you want it to. Because I pick a moon dog. Well, you can radiate everything you are. Yes, you can radiate everything you are. Oh, now I roll a stone. Well, you can imitate everyone you know. Yes, you can imitate everyone you know. I told you so. All I want is you. Everything has got to be just like you want it to. Because well, you can indicate everything you see. Yes, you can indicate anything you see. Oh, now I load a lorry. Well, you can syndicate any boat you row. Yeah, you can syndicate any boat you row. I told you so. All I want is you. Everything has got to be just like you want it to. Because are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Yeah. That was Can You Dig It by Georgie Wood. And now we'd like to do Hark the Angels Come. Myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, yeah. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. away. She never walked down the street anymore. Oh, the judge, he guilty found her for robbing homeward bound her. That dirty, no good robbing Maggie May. Oh, this is a part of Liverpool. They returned me to £2.10 a week, that was my pay. Taken her away. She never walked down my street anymore. Oh, the judge, he guilty found her for robbing a homeward bounder. That dirty, no good robbing Maggie May. Oh, this is a part of Liverpool. They returned me to £2.10 a week, that was my pay.
I've been wandering around, wondering how come nobody told me all that I was looking for was somebody who looked like you. I got a feeling that keeps me on my toes. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I think that everybody knows. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a feeling, yeah, yeah. Everybody had a hard year. Everybody had a good time. Everybody had a wet dream. Everybody saw the sunshine. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Everybody had a good year. Everybody let their hair down. Everybody pulled their socks up. Yeah. Everybody put their foot down. Oh yeah. Yeah. Woo-hoo. I got a feeling. A feeling deep inside. Oh yeah. Everybody, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody saw the sunshine. I got a feeling. A feeling I don't know. Everybody put their thumbs up. Oh no. Everybody put their foot down.
Long and winding road. I find the girl. Don't keep me waiting here, waiting for your door. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Queen says no to pot. Smoking FBI members.
Because you're sweet and lovely, girl, I love you. Because you're sweet and lovely, girl, it's true. I love you more than ever, girl, I do. I want you in the morning, girl, I love you. I want you in the moment I feel love. I'm living every moment, girl, for you. I'm walking up. You gotta know. Never tell my blues. I'm gonna drink, I know this, baby. I've loved you from the moment I saw you. You looked at me and that's all you had to do. I feel it now, I hope you feel it too. Because you're sweet and lovely, girl, I love you. Because you're sweet and lovely, girl, it's true. I love you more than ever, girl, I do. I'm living the blues.
Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew it couldn't last. Jojo left his home in Tucson, Arizona, for some California grass. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Jojo. where you once belonged. If I
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.